All right, everybody, what is going on? So everybody right now is going through some stuff, especially if you're a man. A lot of men are not doing very well in life, and people are looking for answers. And I don't have all the answers in life to all of life's questions, but I would like to offer just a tad bit of encouragement. And that encouragement is just coming from me, a person who's, middle-aged, and I was lost at a certain point in my life as well. And I just want you guys to understand that as a man in his 40s that is, by all objective measurements, successful, I'll tell you all flat out that it's 100% okay if you're struggling as a man, regardless of what people tell you. You guys, I believe, have all been lied to about what being a man really means. Right? They tell you if you're struggling to just embrace it. Otherwise, you're weak, or you're less than, you're a pussy, all of that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, when these people who say this, when they were struggling, they had a support system. They had a way out. They had easy answers and to their problems. There was always a solution. Right? They just had to maybe work at it. As to where the solution is mercurial. It's murky at best, if it even exists. Right? These people, they told you that if you can't provide 100% for your wife, your girlfriend, your kids, whatever the case might be, that you're not a real man. Meanwhile, these people were dating and having kids in an era in time where it was essentially an economic oasis, right? Men still ruled the workforce. They were still getting the promotions. People didn't hate men in college and things like that. It was a way different time to be a man in general. And then, they tell you that, pain and misery are blessings in disguise. All this stoic Marcus Aurelius bullshit, right? Meanwhile, these people themselves, they didn't really have this struggle. They didn't have the struggle that they portray that they had, right? And even if they did, the solutions were abundant. They were all over the place, right? They were wrong about pretty much everything. And I will tell you why, because I don't want to just shit on these people and seem like I'm grifting. I'll tell you, right? Being a man right now is 100% not what it used to be. I don't care what anybody tells you, right? The rules have changed. The game itself has changed. Hell, it's like people threw out the goddamn scoreboard. You don't even know if you're winning anymore. You don't even know if the shots you're putting up as a man are even being registered. Like you don't know what they're worth. The rules keep changing, right? And if you feel like you're falling behind, no matter how hard you work and you can't get ahead, I'm telling you that as a man, it's okay because it's fucked up. The world is really fucked up. You're not crazy. You're not insane. You're not just weak. You're not less than. The world is really fucked up right now, right? And I would encourage you guys, reject this idea that, struggle is some magical gift, or that bullshit that hard times make strong men, or whatever retarded Instagram post that you've seen, or whatever, dumb stoic post or, thing you've seen tattooed on somebody's arm. I would invite you to reject that because all of that applies to a time when there was a solution. In today's day and age, the solutions aren't necessarily there, right? Like the solutions are way far off. And we're living in a time where you're contending with AI and, unchecked feminism. So it's a whole different ball game than whatever these other people try to portray. All right. So you got to take that shit with a grain of salt. We're not living in the same world that our fathers and grandfathers, built their wealth, built their empire, or even built their fucking family. We're not living in that. You can't graduate from high school and just go work at a goddamn factory, right? You really can't even go graduate from high school and go to college because it's a feminist shit fest. Most people don't want to go to the military. I did, but hey, it's a whole different military now. So the world has changed. You're not crazy, right? You are not crazy. And the people who pretend that you are, the people who pretend like everything is normal, that's really the stuff that's messing you up. And this is why I'm telling you, you're not crazy. The people who are telling you to just work harder, they're the crazy ones. Because what the fuck are you working harder at? Right? Now, first and foremost, you got to understand, a lot of the shit you see online, you got to reject it. Because that's what's messing you up even more. Right? Like you have this like Sigma male stuff, these weird Sigma male philosophies. I'm sure you've seen it. It's like, you have these TikToks with like a black and white filter or some shit, and there's like some moody piano music and some guy in a suit and he's drinking a scotch and he's looking out over the city skyline or something like that. And there's like some deep voice talking about be so mysterious that they think you never even exist. You know, the stupid shit, you know, that stupid shit, right? That kind of stuff, you got to really understand that's all just like marketing. Just like feminism has its marketing and all these, you know, strong girl boss slogans and stuff like that. That's nothing but marketing, right? It's like a action movie with bad monologues and shit. So reject that shit every time you see it. Like, just swipe past that because it's not actually helpful. Now, I will say, like, the original Sigma male idea, as cringy as it sounds, it wasn't necessarily this awful idea. Like, it sounds horrible. It sounds really cringy, but it wasn't actually bad in practice, right? It was about self-reliance and, you know, independence and, you know, avoiding herd mentality and shit like that, and, you know, stoicism in a more practical way. But, you know, the internet being what it is, we kind of got a parody of all of that. So it's become just an aesthetic. It's become something to market and just another niche online that people kind of get into, and they, you know, say all this dumb shit. And it sounds good, but it's really mostly unhelpful. So instead of encouraging men to improve, it basically just sells them an image that's kind of unattainable, if you will. So there's that. Right? It's all empty calories if we're comparing masculinity to food, right? So there's that, right? And here's a crazy part. If you're struggling financially, if you're struggling mentally or emotionally, none of that shit's gonna help, which is the worst part. Which is why I tell you guys, you gotta reject it. All of that shit doesn't help. It's not practical. All of this be mysterious and be self-reliant. Yeah, be self-reliant, but fuck, none of this stoicism shit pays your bills. So just leave that shit at the door. Don't fall into this trap of, you know, stoic indifference and, you know, being this top 1% man that can do it all by himself, because that shit will mess up your mind. It mess up your mind. It warps your mind because it's not real. None of the people who are telling you these stupid things had to do them themselves. And if they did, I promise you, I absolutely promise you, they did this stuff at a different point in time where the problems weren't as complex and the solutions weren't so far off. Most of the people that you see, they're grifters. Most of the people you see talking about, oh, you just need to work harder and you just need to grind harder. You have no clue how many handouts these fuckers got. You have no clue what kind of network they had behind them. Their mom was connected with somebody. Their dad was connected with somebody. You know, they just knew the right person. They got the right situation. I would encourage you guys, just like we tell feminists to stop listening to the internet because it's killing them, stop listening to these Andrew Tate types. Like, I don't have a problem with Andrew Tate. It's just, he's selling a product. He's selling an aesthetic. He's selling a mindset that doesn't really work. The world is, in fact, broken. It is broken. You are not crazy, and it's okay to struggle. It's okay to not be okay. Now, obviously, you can't just give up, but, you know, it is what it is. You do have to soldier on, but just a little bit of, you know, from me to you, you're not crazy, right? So there's that. Now, beyond that point, we also have to address the highly dismissive attitudes that you're going to get from women and, I guess, financially successful men, because financially successful men and women are pretty much the same thing, just in different bodies. Now, you guys got to understand, when you're a man who's not making it financially, then you're also going to struggle romantically and socially. And there's not going to be an ounce of sympathy, not one single ounce, right? And from a lot of women, the message is very clear. It's very blunt. They're going to tell you, if you can't provide, you're not a real man, or you're not worthy of my time, or you shouldn't be in my face, right? And I'm not saying that you should just be dirt poor, but women are there. They don't want to take a shot on anyone. They only want a home run. Like, they are done. It's a whole different time. You're not crazy. They are gold diggers just the way they portray themselves online. And when you're dealing with like a successful man, like maybe you have a successful uncle, maybe your dad's successful or this person or that person, they always like to say, well, if I did it, you can do it. You just don't want it enough, or some fucking shit like that. And what these people forget is the wages that we're dealing with. Like when you go to work, your wages are not keeping up with inflation in any way, shape, or form. Housing prices and rental prices are absolutely fucking bonkers. Job security is non-existent coast to coast. And the social expectation, the social and financial expectations of men to provide everything, it hasn't changed, hasn't gone anywhere. So, what they're saying is hogwash, which is why I keep telling you, do not beat yourself up. You are not crazy. These people are just selling you wolf tickets. They don't know the solution. So they just say, and they just regurgitate keywords, key phrases. They're full of shit. You're not crazy, right? Like I remember one time I saw a guy on Reddit and he posted that he made like $70,000 a year and he lives like frugal. He lives really cheap, but he still couldn't afford a home in this city. And I promise you, like the number one comment was, sounds like a skill issue or get good, something along those lines. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Get good at what? A skill issue in what regard? Like what skills am I gonna have that are gonna raise my wages? Like if they're not raising wages, if there's no raise to be had, you're just not going to get it. And that's certain. Your raise isn't going to go past inflation, right? That's by design, right? But that's the kind of ridiculous, dismissive garbage that most men have to deal with. And it kind of keeps you silent. Like it breaks your confidence, right? Like I said, I'm saying this as a successful middle-aged man. I was there once before. I wasn't there in this current day and age, but I get it. I understand what people are going through. That shit will shatter you as a man. It will break you as a man, right? You're not failing because you're lazy. You're failing because the game is fucking rigged and nobody wants to admit it, right? So don't let it break you. Don't let this stuff break you and turn you into something less. Don't let this stuff, make you depressed. This is why I say all of this stoic shit you see online is horseshit. The world is fucked up. Now, yes, you do have to formulate a plan, but if anybody is out here telling you just work harder, the first thing I'm going to say is ask that person for a blueprint. And if they can't give you a blueprint, tell them to shut the fuck up. Work harder? Okay, work harder at what, cocksucker? Work harder at what? Am I supposed to just get more hours on a job? What if my job ain't giving out overtime? Like, what am I supposed to do? You just work harder. Like, it doesn't work that fucking way. Hard work does not pay off anymore. What happens if you can't get a job? What happens if nobody's hiring? Oh, we'll just apply to more jobs. Do you not see all the shit going on about LinkedIn and shit like that and Indeed.com? It's just a dump, right? So like, I myself, a successful man, can't necessarily give you the answer, but sometimes it is a healthy form of catharsis to hear a successful person tell you, you're not fucking crazy. The world is fucked up. You're not just some lazy piece of shit. You're not just this weak man that's lesser. The system is rigged against you and it's fucked up. So take your time to, mentally and emotionally process, come up with a plan. But whatever you do, stop listening to this bullshit that tells you to just man up, because that's not how the fuck it works. Not in today's day and age. I swear to you, anybody telling you toughen up, man up, work harder, all that shit, they didn't get their money. They didn't get their success in an age where they had to contend with fucking toxic feminism and AI. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Does that mean you get to give up? No. But does that mean that you're wrong and that you just need to shut up about what's going on? Absolutely not. The world is fucked up. You're not crazy. So that's just a little bit of encouragement from me to you, and I hope you can do something with it. Like, share, subscribe, and hit me up on the next video. Until then, peace.